to be here.
It is April 15th, 2026. We are in Lakeside, California, with kind of an unusual home disaster here, actually, with flooding, mud, broken pipes, and all kind of questions of, you know, he said, who said, this said, whatever they said, and different agencies that are involved in here. And we have three people here. John, will you introduce yourself first?
Yeah, my name is John Unden, U-N-D-E-N. I'm
And
the
you're
owner of this house here.
the owner of this house, okay? And Aura?
My name is Aura Gray. The last name is spelled G-R-A-Y.
Okay, Troy?
Troy Gray, G-R-A-Y.
Okay, so who'd like to start here? Well, actually, you rent here, and what's the address here on Castle Road?
It is 12745 Castle Court Drive
Okay.
in Lakeside, California, 92040.
Okay, and kind of tell us from the beginning, just briefly, got some visitors up there, briefly, how all this got started, and it's got to be totally frustrating. You've got stock animals here, and you've got dogs, and your home it's flooded out. So kind of tell us how it started, Aura, and Troy, you can chime in anytime.
Yes, basically what happened is between 1:30 and 2 a.m. in the morning of last Thursday, the April 9th, we heard a loud bomb sound. That something, I knew it wasn't right. It shook the whole house. Then I heard rushing water, and then I heard another bomb sound. And Troy went out here with the spotlight and noticed that the hillside was now following into our yard. So we immediately evacuated everything that we could, but it happened within a matter of minutes. There was a 6 to 8 foot at least section of pipe right here in the backyard until the water authority came and removed it, but this has been ongoing for a week now. The house has been red tagged. It is uninhabitable, and the walls in the back 2 bedrooms are collapsing.
Yeah, and we're just going to pan up here and look at where it came from, and then we'll talk to John for a minute here. That's not a pipe, that's a timber up there, but it came from
It's an old tree.
apparently. And again, this is Lakeside. It's Lakeside Water, their deliverer, and where they pay the bill. I'm just going to kind of pan around here. What is this? A bedroom or the kitchen?
That's a back bedroom there.
Okay, so you can just see it was precarious just for me to walk down here through all the mud and the dogs they got to evacuate, and so we'll come back around here and talk to John a minute. So one of the things that when Aura and Troy contacted me is their frustration with several agencies. They did reach out to the county. They did reach out to District 2, Joel Anderson's office, the supervisor, and they also reached out to Lakeside Water, and they are actually living in a motel right now. The fire department did come out to make sure the scene was safe, and obviously the house is flooded. We'll get some pictures out in a minute. But John, you're the owner. You came in today. We had a little chat before this. It's got to be really frustrating. Oh, also the insurance company too. We talk about that.
Yeah,
Kind of tell you what you're going through. It's got to be frustrating, right? And what agencies you contacted and any response, and we'll see if we can get some word out here to somebody that will respond.
The morning after this happened, I was out of town at my son's house in Colorado. I got a call from the neighbor, Debbie, that lives next door, telling me what had happened. And at that time, on her cell phone, she handed her cell phone to somebody from the water district that I talked to. I didn't get his name. And he advised me to call their office, because I guess he was a worker that was out here. And so I called Lakeside Water District. I was in touch with Brett Sanders at the Lakeside Water District. He told me that he didn't believe that the Lakeside Water District was responsible, because he said the County of San Diego has a pump up on the hill to pump water up to a park that's on the top of the mountain here, and he said that their pump had been leaking for some time, and they believe that that's what saturated the soil up there and caused it to come down the hill and break the water main, and when it all came down, the water and the rocks and everything. He recommended that I call my homeowner's insurance because it may take time to find out who's responsible for sure. I contacted State Farm, my insurance company. I was frustrated because the first time they had available to come out and look at it this was on Thursday. The first time they had available was on Tuesday afternoon. I was still out of town, but I set it up for then anyway. The claims adjuster came out, which was yesterday, came out at 1:30. I was frustrated because she didn't get back to me. She was here at 1:30. I never heard a thing from her, not a text, not a call, not a email, nothing. And I called her this morning and left a voicemail, and it took her 2.5 hours to call me back to tell me that homeowners insurance they consider this a catastrophic event and it's not going to be covered by my insurance. So I then called back to the Lakeside Water District because I had no numbers to who to contact for the county yet. And again, I talked to Brett Sanders. He gave me the number of 2 people with San Diego County because he says the pump and that is owned by San Diego County Parks, because that's a park up on top. I called the one number. He said, I'm not the one. He's the park ranger. I said, I'm not the one to talk to about this. He gave me the number of another person, but he said you weren't going to be able to get a hold of him today because his aunt died and he's at a funeral today. And that's the last that I've heard about this. But he also emphasized when I talked to Brett again, he said, we absolutely believe that it's the County of San Diego is responsible because they have that pump up there.
Who said that?
Brett Sanders.
And who is he?
He's one of the directors for the Lakeside Water District.
And I have
Okay,
more
so
information.
Lakeside Water is saying that the county was responsible because there's a pump house, which we can't see from here. There's
They're
a big house up
attempting
there.
Can't see
to
it
claim
from here.
that.
And then, okay, so the Lakeside Water is saying that it's a pump house up there and that the county said they knew of a leaking
Yes.
pipe or something that could have done all this. And so I'm not clear, is the county taking responsibility?
I have information
Well,
regarding
from
that.
what Brett said, the county does not want to take responsibility either.
Okay,
That's
so
all-
Lakeside Water
that's
doesn't want to
hearsay.
take,
That's what he told me.
okay.
I
And I'll make a call to the
I
county
still
too.
haven't talked to anybody officially for the county yet. I hadn't been able to get a hold of anybody.
Okay, so I'm going to call the county tomorrow, and I'm going to also
I have spoke
contact.
with the
Hang on
county.
a minute, Laura, and also contact a drop in on the Lakeside Water, and tomorrow morning and see if they're going to talk to me. So it sounds like, well, it's not our fault, and then this one says it's not our fault. And some insurance, homeowner insurance, does not cover flood damage. You know, just like in the Gulf states, you know, with hurricanes, that's an extra insurance. It doesn't cover it, right? A lot of people
Right.
don't get it. So they're saying that whoever takes responsibility, they're going to
They're going
Do
to
the
have
re-
to pay for the damage.
They're gonna
Whoever
do the-
turns out to be responsible, whether it's the county or the Lakeside Water District.
Yeah, because they're going to have to do something to this hillside too, because it's
Yeah, it's clearly,
next time you have a heavy rain, you don't have any vegetation here.
No.
You know, you're going to have flooding right here again
All the-
if a
that-
heavy
the
rain.
whole hillside
No,
is
I
down
have,
here now.
I have been gifted part of the Lakeside Water District. It's now in my yard.
So, this is a very frustrating situation, and you know, for the owner, this is his real estate.
Yes,
For the
of course.
renters who cannot habitate this house right now because it's been flooded and there's an asbestos issue and you know
Well, that
just-
hasn't been verified yet.
Well, they're going to test
But
tomorrow
they're
to
going
see
to
if there's, because of the age of the house, they have to do an asbestos check before they can go in and start
Okay.
remediation.
So, so where it stands right now is, the way I understand it, the insurance company
I
says,
have spoke with the county.
okay, go ahead.
I have contacted Joel Anderson's office. They have responded to me with a woman named Sarah, who I have in my contacts
Was it a
now.
positive response you got from them?
Yes,
Okay.
yes.
What,
They-
can you
she was-
summarize what they said about this?
So she put me in contact with two gentlemen that I spoke to for about 20 so minutes this afternoon. And basically what they have told me is that they don't understand why Lakeside Water District is blaming the county. And as far as they have claimed, there is no infrastructure up there that belongs to the county. So I relayed to them that I am not an expert in the infrastructure of the water disbursement around the county.
Sure.
But all I know is that I spoke with two gentlemen. They're going to call Brett tomorrow at the water district. I asked them to please get back in touch with me and my landlord. And they are denying any responsibility thus far of having any type of infrastructure up on the hill. They're saying there's no pump up there that belongs to them. At some point, they even tried to mention Padre Dam, which has nothing to do with any of the
Yeah.
water infrastructure here.
Right.
But they were very nice. They were pleasant, and they were very pleasant to me. But they are completely denying any responsibility.
And I think I mentioned, talked to you briefly on the phone before I came out, if you had contacted Red Cross.
Yes, I did.
And were they able to give you vouchers or anything like that?
They were
Because this is catastrophic.
They were able to give us a few $100s, yes.
Okay.
Which
No, that was the Red Cross. not
yes,
Brett.
the Red Cross.
Not Brett. You said Brett.
Oh
No, he said Red
no,
Cross.
he
Oh,
said
Red
Red
Cross,
Cross.
okay.
They were able to give us $640,
Okay.
which we put towards our stay of the hotel room. But that is basically 2.5 nights.
Yeah. And how about food vouchers or anything?
No.
Okay.
None of that.
Yeah, and I encourage you to call them back and
I will.
yeah, and
I will.
and also I think it's is it 211?
Yeah, they've been called. They've
Yeah.
called us a few times. They've called
yeah.
us.
and they're very helpful too in the
It's
past.
very
They're very
difficult when you're two people that are running a small business
Right.
and you're not used to being home all day every day, and all we do is get up and work and come home and sleep. So it's
Yeah.
I've been on the phone. I'm doing everything I can, but the issue with people denying responsibility is really getting to me.
Well, and we're gonna dig down pretty deep in this. I don't just use that word right, all the mud here. Tomorrow, and we're gonna find out.
Yeah, no pun intended. Thank you, Shiloh.
Yeah, I didn't mean that. But listen, I want to thank you. I do have some other ideas too. I'll give you off camera. And John, thank you for
You're welcome.
being forthright. This is your home.
I have myself hired the person to come in and take the carpets out and do the asbestos test because we don't want the mud and water in there any longer. It's already been in there too
It
long
needs to
and
be,
nobody's
yeah.
taking responsibility. So
Right.
Yes.
they're coming tomorrow to pull the carpets and do an
Accountability is
asbestos
one
check
factor.
to make sure.
And who's paying for that?
Well, I will have to pay for it because my insurance is not going to
Okay.
cover
And
that.
then
So-
yeah. Okay. Any final words, folks, before we wrap this up?
Good.
No, I have some final words. To Lakeside Water District and to the county and whoever's water infrastructure is involved on this hill, please understand that we are two people running a small business and we no longer have a home. So I understand that everyone's trying to figure out who is responsible for this catastrophe, but in the meantime, two people are out of a home. Completely out of a home. And we are funding a hotel room on our own with a small amount of money that we have.
Okay,
So-
and I have some ideas, and I
Yes.
want to thank John and
Thank you.
and Aura and Troy. This is just a really a sad situation. This is when you called me, I had no idea the intensity. I mean, this is
I told you
this is
times
like a
the
river
10.
that over flooded in the Gulf states or someplace. Thank you so
told you.
much.